Welcome to Live Talk. We do apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we are experiencing today, but we're here. But welcome to Live Talk. I am your host, Arthur Jeremiah, alongside my two co-hosts, Minister Samuel.
Welcome again to the Live Talk.
All right, and my other co-host, author and inspirational speaker, Shane Zulu Shepherd.
Yes,
Welcome,
sir.
brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, Shane is one of the new members of the show, which he's going to bring a lot of energy to the show. And we welcome this brother here, and I want our listening audience and those that are out there to make sure that you welcome this brother. And he brings a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and a deep background when it comes to dealing with our people in the community, especially our youth. So we definitely welcome this brother here. All right. So first and foremost, how are you, brothers? First, with you, Minister.
Well, I'm doing wonderful. Now that we got the technical difficulties out of the way, sometimes you have to, jump over a little technical hurdle. But once we get past that, we're moving. But I'm doing wonderful, feeling great. Great to have Brother Shane with us. Just looking forward to a wonderful show. Always great when we reconnect our hearts.
Yes, sir, indeed. Brother Shane.
I'm feeling blessed. Anytime I wake up on this side of God's earth, I feel like I have another chance to do it. Sun shining, knowledge flowing. I'm around good, positive brothers. It don't get no better than that.
Awesome. And I'm doing wonderful myself. We have this show the first and the third of every month. We try to stay and have that consistency of the show. This is our second season, and this is episode 7. Y'all know the significance of 7, right?
Yes, it is.
Not only does it represent perfection, it represents completion. So it's a great thing to be in an episode, to be this far along in this program. But before we get into, because we're going to have a lot of conversation today, and I don't want us to take up a lot of this time because I really want to get into the meat of the program. We have a brother that's coming on that's going to be the focal point of the conversation today, talking about fatherhood, father and son relationships. So that's what's going to be our conversation today. But before we even get into that, we're going to give you just a quick rundown of the show and get right into our minister word right after that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a word of the day by the minister. Right after that, we're going to have a short commercial break. That's when we're going to bring on our speaker, not to say speaker, but we're going to bring on our special guest. And then right after that, we're going to have another commercial break. We're going to go a little bit into some world news because we want to make sure that we stay connected and any information and advice that we can give and share. And then that's when we want you to kind of chime in in the conversation. If you have information, please do share that information with us. And then right after that, we're going to cap off with the author's word. We're going to have a word of the day by the author. It's going to be something, a quote or something from a book that we will share as that inspirational word. So with no further ado, we're going to get right into it. Minister, what's the word of today?
Okay, our word for today is interdependent. And that word was picked today because we often say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, within that statement is an implied relationship of interdependence. And the first being the child is dependent upon the village. But the village is also dependent upon the child because the adults in the community nurture and support the child. And in return, the child grows to nurture and support the community. Or at least that's the way it's supposed to work.
Right.
Interdependent actually means relying on one another for mutual support. And it is not a one-sided thing like being dependent. It is about being interdependent and sharing in that responsibility, sharing in the support, sharing in the growth, sharing in the wealth. And interdependence should take us right into our show topic for today.
All right. All right. Interdependence. This is a great word for today. And like you said, it should take us right into that topic of today. So
And key, not dependent, interdependent, not code. See, some people that they say they're codependent,
mhm,
or dependent, interdependent.
interdependent. Awesome. All right. So with that being said, thank you for that word of today. We want to make sure that we meditate on that as we go into the next part of our program. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and we're going to be right back with our guest of today. So we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to the show. And we do want you to always support us. As the authors, The Spiritual Significance of a Name, please do go out and purchase that book. And then don't forget our dear brother Shane, Truth and Change, which is a very powerful book as well. So we want you to support us by going out and getting some of this knowledge, this information. Very important. All right, back to the show. We have our special guest on. Minister, you want to do the honors?
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, actually, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome my guest today. How should I want to begin? And you might want to, if you check the camera just a little bit, because I know the technology like to move.
Oh, yeah.
We can kick it over just a little bit, bring him into the screen. There we go.
All right.
Right. Today, first of all, I'd like to say, our guest is the owner of Green Pastures Septic Service. They do commercial, residential, and service here in Central Florida, have been doing so for well over 20 years, run a very prosperous as well as righteous business. So it's we want to be very conscious in our community of supporting Black business, keeping Black dollars within the community. And I guess empowers that because not only does he service our community, he services outside our community, but he also services our community, gives us a lot of opportunities. So we'll say that from the beginning, but I guess he's a father, he's a husband, he's a grandfather. He's also a minister and spiritual advisor. He's locally here. He's one of the founding members of MOP organization, which is geared toward helping our youth as well as reconnecting Black men together. And I could go on really, really deep. I'm gonna start it from the point. I feel it's an honor to introduce not just a brother, but my friend, Baba Kiongozi. So welcome to Live Talk.
Shalom, what's up, my brothers? Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Greatly appreciated. Kind words.
So great. So good to have you here with us
Absolutely.
today.
Good afternoon to all my brothers and sisters, kings and queens out there joining us today.
Yes, sir. So we're going to just kind of get right into it. I got to first say condolence to you and the family. Recently, you lost your father. And I think that's what kind of brought us to even having this conversation about father and son relationship. And I just kind of want to turn it over to you. And I know when it comes to losing someone like that, there's a lot of emotions that surround, but even as a father yourself, a lot of times we have to channel those emotions and we have to keep a lot in ourselves because we have to tender to everyone else's emotions, especially like your mother, So how has that been and where are you right now?
Well, I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good place, brother. Thanks for asking and thanks for your condolences. All the brothers that supported me during that process. Yes, it was a challenging time, but we rise to the occasion. That's what strong Black men do. So had a responsibility there as the elder son, not the elder child, but the elder son. So I welcomed that challenge and took it on, and we gave my father a good homegoing. So my elders commended me and my siblings on the job we did. So we pleased them. So it was a good turnout and things went well.
Awesome.
So getting into that, you had anything else?
No, I just wanted to kind of open up because I know you want to share something we talking about today, just for the listening audience and those looking in. We're talking about father-son relationship, and today we're going to be talking about what's that like. We get turned off a little bit. We're going to talk about a little bit what's that like, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you and what you want to share on that.
Well, like you were saying, especially when my father passed. Well, let me just get this out. I had a biological father, and my father that just recently passed, I called him my spiritual father because he was the one that really introduced the family to spirituality. It was through the Christian path, but spirituality, at any rate, he was the one that brought that to our family. And I appreciated him for that. So basically, I had a biological father and I had a spiritual father. So, with that being said, as fatherhood, a lot of times we think fatherhood start when we get married and we start our family. Well, fatherhood technically starts from a boy, when you're a boy. And as a young man, not a young man, as a boy, we observe, we pay attention to the man that we figure, we know that's our father. So we pay attention to that man's actions, his words, and what he's doing at that time. So as a boy, you can't put everything together. So most of the things you pretty much learning and taking in at that time is through seeing and hearing. You're not putting all the pieces together. You don't even know if your mom and your father is married. You don't know if they just date. You could have been an infant at the time and grew up in the house with this man. This man might not even be your biological father. But you don't know. It's just something you grow older, you learn and you start to get bits and pieces and put things together. So from a boy's perspective, the relationship with my mom, with my biological dad, it wasn't a good sight, shall I say, is the words, And I'm not here to bash men or anything like that. Just bear with me and you're going to understand where I'm coming from. And out of the Most High, Yahweh gave me understanding and wisdom throughout all these phases of our lives, because we go through phases. And you starting off, like I said, as that boy. So, the things I seen as a small child, as a boy, with my biological dad, it wasn't a perfect family. It wasn't. Things was in disorder. And a little later, my mom did meet my spiritual father. He wasn't spiritual at the time. She met him. But he was a young man coming into her life, and they got together and, eventually got married. And so that life began. So now I'm observing, and now I got something else to look at. I'm not looking at my biological dad no more. Now I'm looking at what we call my stepfather. Yeah. And I'm looking at his moves, and I'm learning from his actions what a man's supposed to be like. So hardworking man, take nothing away from that. Hardworking man, went to work. Married my mom actually with 3 children. Mm. My 2 older sisters and myself at the time. And then later, him and my mom had 1 child together. So once again, I'm gonna try to, your brothers can jump in at any time.
How old was you around that time when that transpired?
With the marrying of my mom, well, they started dating probably, I must have been about 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 or 3 when they started dating, and probably around 4 by the time they actually got married.
So technically, like being around about 3, I think that's when I guess you start to become conscious of certain things, right? Around about that age, or
I believe you're recording from the time you come out.
Mhm.
Now, can you understand your recording is a different thing.